O chosen one, listen carefully. For the words I am about to speak are not meant to pass lightly through your ears and be forgotten. These are words of awakening from the higher realms, sent directly to your heart at a most critical moment in your life. Before you, a spiritual storm is slowly taking shape, not by my will, but as a result of mankind's misguided choices, the schemes of the enemy, and a long-woven chain of unseen consequences. This storm is not a random event, nor a vague possibility, but a real and imminent force, sharp, relentless, and able to cut deep into your life if you do not remain watchful. And because I love you, I do not desire for you to walk in blindness or complacency, but to lead you into the shelter beneath the shadow of my wings. Understand this: every moment in your life passes with divine purpose. Nothing happens by chance. All things are interconnected within the flow of time and the spiritual realm. And in that stream, I have seen the dangers being intricately woven into your journey. The enemy of your soul, the one who from the beginning has been a liar and the father of lies, has long lurked in the shadows, awaiting the moment your heart grows weary and your spirit falters to strike with cunning and cruelty. The smallest cracks in your soul, unforgiven bitterness, lingering doubts, unresolved disappointments can become open doors for him to enter. Yet I say this not to plant fear in your heart, but to awaken your faith. For I, Jehovah first and the last, the one who parted the Red Sea for my people to walk through on dry ground, am still watching over every second of your life. I see the end from the beginning. I know the path of this storm, and I know the way of escape prepared for you. But you must choose to step into my protection without delay. Child, the threads of time are crossing in dangerous ways. Unwise decisions by those around you, whether in family, close relationships, or community, have begun to stir the waters. The consequences of these choices do not affect only them, they are spilling into your life as well. This is how the spiritual world operates. No one lives entirely isolated from the influence of others. As Scripture says, do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character. 1 Corinthians 15:33. Hearts that were once tender have grown hard. Lips that once spoke love now speak bitterness. All of this threatens to spiral into something far more destructive if you do not stay alert. Moreover, dark forces are exploiting the fractures in human hearts to incite further chaos. Spirits of division, accusation, and anger are whispering into the minds of the weak-hearted, fanning the smoldering embers in strained relationships. If these whispers are dismissed or ignored, they can swell into chasms of brokenness. That is why I come to warn you today. Do not take these words lightly. Do not reject the whispers of my spirit within you, lest the door of protection close before you are able to step inside. Do not think this is merely an argument or a minor event. What is unfolding is not merely a clash between people, but a confrontation between light and darkness. This is a spiritual battle seeking to infiltrate the physical world. Remember, for our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Ephesians 6:12. I see not only the surface of the storm, but the deeper layers beneath. Not only the wounds in relationships, but threats to your provision, your mental strength, and your spiritual calling. Poor financial decisions made by those around you can shake your resources. Misunderstandings, if not resolved in humility and love, can form deep rifts between you and those you cherish. I see also the quiet exhaustion creeping into your heart, weariness that, if left unchecked, It may leave you vulnerable to the enemy's subtle snares. But remember this, nothing is beyond me. No storm rages beyond my command. No scheme of the enemy can stand when I stretch out my hand. What I ask of you is a heart that is awake, that runs to me, takes refuge in me, so I can intervene and lead you through this season of testing. My beloved child, listen closely, for from the depths of my heart, I have always longed to redeem and protect you. What I reveal today is not to cause fear, but to prepare you to walk a path shielded by grace. You must understand that spiritual battles do not always announce themselves with thunder. They often begin with a whisper, a suspicious glance, a careless word, an unresolved feeling. These can spark deeper conflicts. Some around you, who were once your support, now have hearts clouded by unhealed wounds. These wounds have turned into bitterness, and bitterness breeds harmful words and divisive actions. Child, remember, not every word you hear, not every action you witness, originates from human will alone. There are unseen forces behind the veil of this physical world, silently manipulating and stirring human hearts. Spirits of deception, division, and distrust whisper into the ears of those who open their hearts to darkness. That is why you must be more alert than ever. Learn to discern what voice is mine and what voice is not. Let my words be the measure for everything you see and hear. Do not react out of emotion. Do not let your heart be swayed by gossip or provocation. When you feel the urge to retaliate, pause and lift your heart to me. When you find yourself drawn into the whirlwind of dispute, choose the silence of my spirit. For in that moment, you dismantle the enemy's plan. Remember what I have written, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called children of God. Matthew 5-9. My child, the storm is not only targeting your mind, but also the channels of provision and key relationships in your life. I see financial tremors approaching not because of your mistakes, but due to chains of unwise decisions made by others. Misplaced trust and dependency can lead to lack unless you return everything into my hands. Do not let your heart lean on people or temporary sources of provision. Remember, do not worry about your life. Your Father in heaven knows that you need all these things. Matthew 6:25-32. I also see the silent fatigue within you, a quiet erosion not marked by loud cries, but steadily wearing down your will and spiritual sensitivity. Long nights of restlessness, days weighed down by concern, have weakened your inner defenses. If not renewed in time, you may be swept into the traps the enemy has cunningly laid. But I will not leave you alone in this battle. I long to renew you, to pour new strength into you, to restore your soul like a living spring. What I ask of you now is this: run to me. Do not delay. Do not wait for the storm to draw closer. Even now, in this very hour, lift your heart in sincere prayer. Do not think your prayer is too small or ineffective. Oh, my child, a prayer rising from a humble heart has the power to shake the gates of heaven. It is the mightiest weapon I have placed in your hands. My child, prayer is not merely a ritual. It is the lifeline connecting your heart to mine. Through prayer, you invite me to intervene, to let my power move through every corner of your life. Through prayer, angels are commissioned to guard you and fight on your behalf on battlefields unseen by your eyes. Yet remember, prayer must be coupled with faith. It is not many words that compel me to act, but your trust in me. Even a single whisper in faith can stir my heart. Stand firm in the belief that I love you, that I am the Almighty One, and that nothing is impossible for me. When you enter the place of prayer with that posture, you open the door for me to work beyond anything you could ever imagine. This is the time for you to go deeper into my presence. Do not let busyness, worries, or the noise of the world steal your time of prayer. It is in those very moments that I will speak clearly, guiding you through treacherous turns. Let your heart be tender, ready to hear my voice. Let my spirit renew your soul, strengthening you like an eagle made young again. Because when you are renewed in me, you will not only stand firm through the storm, but you will become an instrument in my hand to bring light and peace to those around you who are lost in confusion. Prepare your heart, for what I am about to do through you will far exceed anything you've imagined. I want to etch deeply into your heart this vital truth. Tragedy is not what I have destined for you. It is not a decree from heaven, nor is it something you must simply accept. On the contrary, I am the God of redemption, of supernatural intervention, of doors opening just when they seemed forever closed. But the choice always remains with you whether you will enter into the refuge I've prepared or hesitate before my call. Often you may think the storm will only affect one part of your life, perhaps a relationship, your finances, or a spiritual matter. But, my child, I see the whole picture. I know that the areas of your life are not isolated but intricately connected. A wound in your soul can cloud your judgment. A financial lack can leave your heart vulnerable to anxiety and doubt. A broken relationship can rob you of peace and hinder your ability to clearly hear my voice. That is why, when I warn you, it is not merely to help you avoid one particular danger, but to preserve your whole journey. Remember, the enemy does not seek to destroy just one part of your life. He wants to unravel the entire circle of grace I have built around you, your family, your calling, your health, your finances, your relationships, and your spiritual walk. But, my child, if you choose to remain in me, no scheme of his will prevail. Now, I want you to learn how to stand guard in the spirit, not with human strength, but with the armor I have provided for you. Put on the breastplate of righteousness, so that your heart will not be stained by the enemy's accusations. Wear the helmet of salvation, that your mind may not be swept away by anxiety and fear. Gird yourself with the belt of truth, that you may stand firm against cunning lies. And above all, take up the shield of faith, with which you will extinguish every flaming arrow of the evil one. Know this, the most powerful weapon I have placed in your hands is my word. Learn to declare it over every area of your life. Do not read my word as a mere habit. Let it soak deep, becoming life in every breath you take. When the storm rises, my word will anchor your soul. When all around you trembles, my word will remain the unshakable foundation. Do you remember what I have written in the Psalms? He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God. In Him I will trust. Psalm 91:2. This is not just a promise for peaceful times, but a weapon for stormy days. If you dwell in Meno on the fringes, not in compromise, but truly reside in my presence, then my arm will shield you. You may wonder, how can I know that I'm truly under God's covering, my child? It is when your heart clings to me, not for gain, not out of fear, but out of love and absolute trust. It is when you choose to place me above all else, above personal dreams, above fleshly desires, above the fleeting safety the world may promise. Then, the gates of heaven will be wide open over your life, and my angels will surround you. Do not think my protection is merely symbolic. It is a spiritual reality, powerful and true. There are moments when you cannot see my hand at work, but on the unseen battlefield, my angels have fought for you, stopping disasters you never even knew were near. How many times have you been spared from danger without understanding why? It was my hand covering you. Therefore, in this season, tighten your bond with me. Do not let busyness or the voices of the world pull you away from the deep place of my presence. It is there that you will receive step-by-step guidance, that you will be sensitive to the Spirit's warnings. When you learn to walk in that sensitivity, you will not only avoid the enemy's snares, but become a sharp instrument in my hand, breaking chains of darkness around you. My beloved child, this is not a time to be complacent. It is a season to go deeper, to stand firmer, to strengthen your trust in me. For what I am about to reveal, and the doors I am about to open for you, will far exceed anything you have ever asked or imagined. But you must be prepared not only spiritually, but also in your mind and in your inner being. Let me do that work in you. Invite me into every hidden corner of your heart, and then you will see, no matter how fiercely the storm may rise, you will remain standing, because your foundation is rooted in a place that can never be shaken. My child, when your heart has been awakened to perceive the storm that is approaching, I want to lead you deeper into the understanding of how to stand firm and walk through this season of testing. To foresee a danger is part of wisdom, but learning how to respond in the wisdom of the Spirit, that is the path to complete victory. That is why I do not merely warn you of what is to come, but I invite you into a deeper preparation, not by human strength, but by my grace and my power. The first thing you must remember is this: your every response in this season will be pivotal. The storm may come, but the posture of your heart, the choices you make in each moment, will determine whether you stand or fall. Many, when they see the signs of hardship, quickly react in the flesh with anger, fear, blame, or the urge to seize control. But such responses only open wider the door to darkness. Instead, I call you to enter a place of spiritual stillness, where your heart is anchored in me, where you can hear my voice clearly amid the chaos of this world. Now is the time to enter into deeper prayer than ever before. Do not think that prayer in this season is merely about asking me to remove the storm. Yes, I can still the storm with a single word. But what I long to do more deeply is transform you in the midst of the storm so that your faith may grow, that you may be strengthened, and that you may draw closer to me. As you pray, ask not only for deliverance from danger, but also to be filled with wisdom, to know my ways, to have your heart aligned with my good will. I want you to remember what is written: surely he will deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the deadly pestilence. Psalm 91:3. The refuge I offer is not a geographic location, it is a spiritual posture. It is when your heart is steadfast in my presence, when you hide under the shadow of my wings, when you learn to rest in me amid the unrest of life. Many seek refuge through human means, through relationships, finances, power, or control. But those are sinking sands when the true storm comes. I alone am your solid rock, your mighty fortress for your soul. Therefore, in the coming days, I call you to intentionally cultivate closeness with me. Do not wait until trouble comes to seek me. Today, begin to establish a new rhythm of communion with me. Set aside unhurried moments of stillness, so your heart can soak deeply in my word. Learn to pause amid the busyness of life to hear the whisper of my spirit. These very moments will sharpen your spiritual sensitivity, so when the storm breaks, you will not panic but stand in unshakable peace. My child, there is another strategy the enemy will use in this season: distraction. He knows that when your heart is splintered by countless worries, when your mind is pulled into the noise of the world, your spiritual discernment begins to dull. So he will attempt to cloud your connection with me through minor anxieties, false invitations, and hidden fears. But if you learn to choose wisely, to guard your heart above all else, Proverbs 4:23, you will not be swept into that vortex. Remember, you may not be able to control every circumstance, but you can always choose how close you remain to me. And that is what will determine your victory in this season. When you draw near to me, my light will shine into every shadow. When you draw near to me, your discernment will sharpen. When you draw near to me, your spiritual weapons will become more effective than ever before. My beloved, take my word seriously. The storm may come suddenly, but the one whose heart is anchored in me will not be shaken. That person will be able to declare, like David, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Psalm 23:4. My presence is not merely a promise on paper. It is a living reality for those who walk closely with me. Do not settle for surface-level faith. Do not be content with a shallow connection. The days ahead will demand a heart that is deeply established in genuine communion with me. And I promise you this, if you step into that place, no storm will be able to drown you. On the contrary, you will become one whom I use to bring light and peace to those around you who are being tossed by the waves. As you continue preparing your heart in this season, I urge you to remember one more thing. The storm is not only seeking to disrupt what is around you, it also seeks to wound your spirit from within. The enemy knows that if he can sow bitterness, disappointment, or a retaliatory spirit in your heart, then even if you survive the outer storm, your soul will bear lasting damage. That is why I call you to walk a higher path, the path of forgiveness, of kindness, of supernatural love. In the days ahead, you may face painful words or actions from those you once loved and trusted. I see that. I know there are relationships on the edge of breaking, small misunderstandings that can be magnified by powers of division. But my child, remember, you are not obligated to respond as the world does. You have another choice, the choice to walk in the Spirit, in forgiveness and humility. Many times, your heart may quietly ask me, Lord, why must I be the one to forgive first? Why must I humble myself when I wasn't the one who caused the hurt? My dear child, I hear that cry, but I also want you to remember this, because you bear my name. You are called to be a builder, not a destroyer. You are called to be light in the darkness, a vessel of reconciliation in a world torn by conflict. Do you still remember my words? Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. Romans 12:21. This is a vital principle in seasons of testing. When you choose to respond to hurt with forgiveness, you are acting in defiance of the nature of darkness. When you respond to provocation with words of peace, you are dismantling the enemy's hidden schemes. Every such act is like a wave of light pushing back the shadows. My child, forgiveness is not denial of pain, nor is it ignoring injustice. Forgiveness is the release of your soul from the burden of bitterness, entrusting all things to me, the just and merciful one. When you forgive, you are choosing not to let bitterness imprison you, in invisible chains. When you forgive, you are opening the way for healing not only for yourself, but also for others. Forgiveness can only flow from a heart saturated with my love. You cannot produce that love on your own. Only when you dwell near me. When you allow my love to fill the wounded places in your heart, can you truly forgive not out of duty, but from authenticity. Therefore, in this season, I invite you to come closer to me, to receive healing from within, and to be daily filled with a fresh outpouring of my love. Know this, my child, the enemy is subtle. He does not only attack through external threats, but also sows hidden voices in your heart whispers that tell you you have the right to hold a grudge, that you have every reason to cling to bitterness. But those voices do not come from me. My sheep know my voice and do not follow the voice of a stranger. Test every emotion, every thought, by my word. If they do not lead you toward peace, humility, and love, then they are not from me. When you feel your heart being pulled toward resistance and self-defense, turn inward to me. Let me shine my light into your soul. Ask me to give you spiritual eyes to see others through the lens of mercy. I know it is not easy, but it is on this path that you will walk into true victory, not victory in the eyes of man, but victory in the heavenly realm, where invisible chains are broken and the plans of the enemy are undone. Remember, when you choose to forgive, you are stepping into spiritual freedom. When you choose to bless instead of curse, you are opening streams of grace into your life. And when you walk in love, you are causing my angels to rejoice and my power to uphold you in a special way. My beloved, this is a decisive moment, a moment to choose not to let your wounds harden your heart, but to keep it tender before me, a moment to become a bearer of reconciliation, a builder of bridges and not a breaker of them. And I promise you this, as you walk this path, no scheme of the enemy will be able to bind you. On the contrary, I will use you as a vessel to bring life, healing, and peace to many others. My child, there is another weapon I want you to hold firmly in this season, the power of prayer and praise. In the days to come, when spiritual storms arise and dark forces try to disturb your soul, the cry of prayer from the depths of your being will be the anchor that holds your spirit steady. But not just prayers of petition, praise, and thanksgiving from a heart that trusts will open spiritual doors that mere requests cannot. O child, when you praise me in the midst of uncertainty, when you bless my name even before you see outward change, when you lift your voice in song in the midnight hour, that is when you are engaging in a mighty act of faith. The enemy cannot comprehend this kind of strength. He knows how to strike at your thoughts, your emotions, your circumstances, but he has no power over a heart that praises in all conditions. Do you remember what the scriptures say? Rejoice always. Pray without ceasing. In everything give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you. 1 Thessalonians 5:16-18. These words are not meant only for peaceful days, they are lifelines in the midst of storms. When you pray without ceasing, you are keeping the spiritual line between your heart and mind clear and open. When you praise me in all things, you are making way for heaven's power to intervene in places unseen by human eyes. So often you think that praise is the act that follows victory. But, my child, I tell you, praise is the weapon that makes way for victory. Look at the example of Paul and Silas in the prison. The chains did not silence them. Instead of complaining or surrendering to despair, they lifted their voices in praise in the night. And in that very darkness, The prison walls shook, the chains fell away, and a supernatural deliverance occurred. Acts 16:25-26. My child, that is your model for this season. When your heart feels heavy with worry, when your emotions threaten to drag you into a whirlwind of fear, choose to praise me. Let the sound of faith rise above the noise of anxiety. Lift up words of thanksgiving even before you see the result. Let praise become the spiritual breath of your soul. I promise you this: darkness cannot long endure in an atmosphere of praise. But remember this: true praise must flow from a heart anchored in me. If you sing only with your lips while your heart remains gripped by fear or bitterness, those words will be empty. Yet, if your heart chooses to trust me, to cling to my promises, then even the simplest declaration of worship can shake the heavens. In the days to come, I invite you to establish a deeper life of prayer and praise. Set aside time not only to bring me your needs, but to honor me for who I am. Learn to behold my beauty and holiness. Let your heart overflow with worship, even in the most challenging circumstances. My child, this is not merely a spiritual principle. This is vital for the survival of your soul in this season. As you cultivate a life of deep prayer, as you saturate your spirit with praise, the spiritual fortifications around you will be strengthened. My angels will be released to act with greater power. The schemes of the enemy will be exposed before they can take root. Moreover, praise will soften your heart and guard it against hardness. A heart that knows how to worship is a humble, teachable heart, one that is ready to be led by my Spirit. And upon such a foundation, I can continue to give you wisdom to walk in the right direction, discernment to recognize hidden traps, and strength to endure as the pressure mounts. Engrave this upon your heart. Prayer and praise are weapons for which the enemy has no countermeasure. No matter how many schemes he devises, they are rendered powerless before a heart deeply connected to me through prayer and worship. That is why I urge you to nurture these two weapons daily, not when crisis hits, but now, while you still dwell in peace and can prepare. Begin each day with thanksgiving. Weave words of praise into the fabric of your daily life. Let prayer become the natural breath of your soul. And when the storm comes, you will find yourself standing firm in a place where many others are shaken. For when your heart is in me, when your mouth is filled with praise to me, no weapon of the enemy can pierce the covering I have placed around you. Beloved one, when your heart has been made ready through watchfulness, forgiveness, and a prayer life steeped in praise, I desire to lead you into active partnership with me during this season of battle. Many of my children think their role ends once they have prayed and surrendered everything into my hands. But, my child, that is not so. I do not only invite you to be protected, but I call you to co-labor with me in my spiritual purposes on the earth. Do you know that in the midst of every storm, every battle, there are things that can only be accomplished when you take initiative in faith? It is faith in action that makes room for my power to flow more mightily. The enemy does not fear prayers that are not followed by action. But when you step out from the secret place with me, to carry out what I have shown you to declare, my word, to build in love, then the strongholds of the enemy begin to crumble. My child, remember what is written: as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without deeds is dead. James 2:26. I say this not to burden you, but to make you aware that I have placed within you far greater spiritual potential than you have yet realized. In the coming days, you may sense me prompting you to take specific actions, to send a word of encouragement, to initiate reconciliation, to help someone even when your own situation is unclear. Do not resist these stirrings. This is how I co-labor with you to dismantle the traps of the enemy. Also, in this season, I will increase your spiritual sensitivity. As you maintain a life of prayer and praise, your spirit will be refined, and your discernment will grow sharper. You will begin to recognize even the smallest warnings from my spirita nudge to avoid a conversation, a sense to pause a journey, or a prompting to speak up in an otherwise ordinary moment. Do not take these lightly. They are my signposts to guide you through dangerous turns. And more than that, know that I have stationed my angels around you. There are battles you cannot win on your own, not because you are weak, but because they belong to the heavenly realms. In those places, my angels are dispatched to intervene. But this is key. Your declaration of my word and the alignment of your heart create the conditions for those angels to act with greater authority. When you proclaim my word boldly and in faith, the angels receive clear spiritual orders to move. When you praise and bless my name, the spiritual atmosphere around you is opened, making their movements swift and unhindered. But when your heart sinks into anxiety, doubt, or complaint, the atmosphere becomes heavy like a spiritual fog that slows the work of my angels. Therefore, in this season, I am calling you not only to hide yourself in prayer, but to step out as my co-laborer. Be watchful to hear every gentle instruction. Boldly declare my word over every area of your life. Remember that the power of life and death is in your tongue. Proverbs 18:21. When you use your lips to proclaim life, my angels move in alignment. When you choose words that build up instead of words that tear down, walls of division begin to crack. Also know this: I have given you spiritual authority, not to be stored away, but to be used. Behold, I have given you authority to trample on serpents and scorpions, and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means harm you. Luke 10:19. Walk in that authority with humility, but also with strength. When you pray, I do so with the understanding that you are a child of the King of Kings, not a feeble beggar. When you face the walls of your circumstances, rise up and declare that nothing is impossible for me, and that you are my beloved. As you step into this co-laboring role, you will begin to see tangible shifts. Places once covered in darkness will begin to shine with light. Relationships once deemed irreconcilable will begin to thaw. Blocked channels of provision will start to open, not because of your own strength, but because when you stand in the place I've called you, my power finds a pathway to move through you. I am calling you. Rise up as a warrior in my kingdom. Do not merely wait for miracles to come from the outside. Become the miracle I use. As you walk in this divine partnership, not only will the storm fail to break you, but you will become one who tears through the storm, paving the way for my light to spread to many others. My beloved child, I want you to remember this. In every season of trial, I don't only desire to preserve you, I desire to bless others through you. Do not think that the stormy season is merely a time to shrink back and wait it out. No, my child, in every storm, spiritual doors are being opened, and I am searching for those willing to walk through them and become my vessels in a broken world. Remember that I am the one who causes all things to work together for the good of those who love me. Romans 8:28. That means even in the darkest seasons, when the forces of darkness seem to have the upper hand, I am quietly weaving opportunities for my light and grace to spread. And I need my children, like you, to be willing partners in bringing that purpose to pass. In the days to come, you may encounter souls battered by spiritual storms, those weary in despair, those broken by fractured relationships, those bound by the chains of fear. They will not find their help in the world. But if you have been refined in my presence, if you have learned to walk in praise and faith, then you will become a beacon of light and strength for them. When you stand firm in the storm, when your lips still praise me, while your circumstances remain unchanged, others will see and wonder, what keeps this one from being crushed like the rest of us? It is then that you will have the opportunity to testify to my power and faithfulness, but not only through words, through the peace, the steadiness, the gentleness flowing from your heart. They will sense a stream of supernatural grace the world cannot replicate. More than that, I will place within your heart words of encouragement that carry healing. There are those who, with just one word spoken in love and wisdom through you, will be set free from the chains of despair. But for such words to flow effectively, your heart must be filled with me, not with your own anxious thoughts. That is why I keep inviting you. Come near to me. Drink deeply of the living water, so that from within you may flow rivers of life. John 7:38. When you step into that role, you are not only one who is protected, you become one who brings restoration. I long to see my children not merely survive the storm, but emerge from it with deeper spiritual maturity, anointed to heal the brokenhearted. Isaiah 61:1. This is one of the deeper reasons why I allow you to walk through seasons of testing, to refine you into a vessel capable of reaching wounded places that only one who has walked the valley can truly understand and help redeem. My child, for this role to function in its fullness, you must keep a heart that is unburdened and free from entanglements. If you allow bitterness or a victim mindset to take root, you will not be able to become a pure vessel through which my grace can flow. Therefore, let me continue cleansing the deepest places within you. Let me heal even the wounds you've never dared to name. Only when your heart is truly free will you be able to lead others into that same freedom. Know this, it is not your task to carry the weight of others on your shoulders. I am the Redeemer. You are simply the instrument I choose to use. So, when you intercede for others, when you support the weak, learn to cast every burden upon me, so that your heart will not be weighed down. A sharp instrument is one that knows how to rest in Meoni, that discerns when to move forward and when to retreat for renewal. My child, I speak these things to you, so that you may dare to expect great things in this season. Do not think that your role is small or insignificant. No word spoken from a heart full of my spirit is ever in vain. No act of love done in my name is wasted. Every beam of light you shine in the midst of the storm carries a reach far beyond what your eyes can see. And in heaven, every one of these things see small Reyes recorded. Prepare your heart not only to stand firm, but to rise as a builder among the ruins. I am seeking those who do not fear the darkness, but who know that the light within them from mice greater than any darkness around them. And as you step into that role, you yourself will be lifted up, empowered, and will witness my glory manifest in your life in fresh and powerful ways. My beloved, when you understand that you are not only the one who is sheltered, but also a co-laborer and a vessel of restoration for others, then I will take you even higher into the role of an overcomer who establishes the influence of my kingdom in the midst of the storm. My goal is not merely to bring you through the storm safely, but to see you emerge from it stronger, more mature, more anointed, and with greater impact. The storm is not from me, but I will use it to refine you into a sharper instrument for my kingdom. This has always been my way, whether in Joseph, in the prison, David, in the wilderness, Paul amid tribulations, or countless faithful servants throughout history. They did not merely survive, they emerged with new power and influence. Child, the storm does not diminish your value in me. On the contrary, if you walk according to my word, the storm will unlock new spiritual territory for you. Every spiritual battle is an opportunity to expand the reach of heaven's kingdom through your life. Places that were once closed, hearts once hardened through the storm, they will be softened and open to the light. But I need people who are willing to enter those places not bound by old wounds, not fearful, but filled with life and light from me. Do you not know that often? After the storm, new doors of calling and commission will open before you. Many have remained confined within their comfort zones. But when they journey through seasons of testing with me, their hearts are enlarged, their faith deepened, and their influence lifted. This is what I long to do in you. My child, not to return you to the familiar, but to usher you into a new season of commissioning and victorious living. Victory in this season does not mean every circumstance will turn in your favor instantly. It means you will remain steady, joyful, unwavering in faith, and firmly rooted in your identity as my beloved. It is in this perseverance that the heavens will open wider over your life. Spiritual barriers will be broken. My angels will be dispatched to assist you in new steps forward. Remember what is written, "Yet in all these things we are more than conquerors through him who loved us." Romans 8:37. Not barely victorious, but more than conquerors. That is the promise for those who know how to stand firm in me during the storm. My child, I want you to embrace the heart of an overcomer. Do not merely hope to survive. Hope to expand my kingdom more boldly than ever after the storm. You may ask me, Lord, how will I know when it's time to step out? To establish new influence? My dear one, you'll know when your heart is no longer ruled by fear, when praise flows effortlessly from your lips, when mercy rises higher in you than bitterness, when you feel a deep longing to reach others even while you're still in your trial. These are signs that I have done a deep work in you and am preparing you for new steps. Know this, I am not calling you to walk alone. In this season, I will also connect you with others, fellow warriors of the kingdom, those walking similar journeys. Through these divine connections, you will realize you are not alone in battle, but part of a spiritual company far stronger than you ever imagined. These relationships will be launching pads for new strategies I will unveil to you. Be assured that my glory will go before you, and it will also be your reward. What the enemy intended for harm, I will turn for good. The places where you once experienced pain, I will cause them to bloom with new life. The doors that once seemed sealed shut, I will open in my perfect timing. And you will testify that the Lord is faithful, not just in theory, but in every living experience of your journey. I call you now to step forward with the heart of a conqueror, not merely one who runs from storms, but one who dares to walk into the storm carrying the authority of Christ within, bringing light and hope to even the darkest corners. And as you do, I promise, my glory will shine upon you, and many will be drawn to me through the testimony of your life. My beloved child, now that you have come to understand your role in the spiritual battle and in the mission of expanding my kingdom, I desire to bring you into a season of deeper transformation. This is no longer just about weathering a storm, but about preparing for a new season. I am unveiling before your eyes a season marked by depths you have never known, doors you have never walked through, and a spiritual influence beyond what you have previously imagined. My child, to enter this season, you must grasp one essential truth. A new season cannot be carried in with an old mindset, with old ways of living, or with old frames of reference. What I am about to do will require your mind to be renewed, your identity to be realigned in me, and your spirit to walk in greater discernment than ever before. Can you see it? Every season in my divine plan has its own rhythm. What was effective in the last season may no longer be suitable for the next. The things you relied on to keep you standing in the storm alertness, prayer, praise, forgiveness remain foundational. But I now desire to add a new layer, one of vision and commissioning. The new season I am ushering in will not be one of merely holding your ground, but one of release and expansion. Not only a season of resisting the enemy's attacks, but of actively possessing the spiritual territories I have already appointed to you. This is the season in which the words I have spoken over the years will begin to take shape in visible reality. But only those willing to let me renew their vision and reposition their hearts will be able to enter in. As I have written, behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? Isaiah 43:19. The new does not come by way of the old path. The new requires spiritual eyes to be opened, hearts to be purified, and minds to be renewed. This, my child, is what I am inviting you into in this season. I want you to understand that the battle you just went through was not in vain. Every tear shed, every silent prayer, every word of praise in the midnight hour, every difficult act of forgiveness each has sown spiritual seeds in your heart and in the unseen realm. And now, I am preparing to bring forth a new harvest from those seeds. Yet, this harvest is not for those still entangled in the old mindset, but for those who are willing to step into the new with open eyes and ready hearts. I am calling you to let me renew your spiritual vision. Ask me to open your eyes to see what I am moving on the earth. Ask me to give you the mind of Christ, so you no longer view your circumstances through the lens of limitation or old fears. Allow me to reshape how you think about yourself, your calling, and your role in the kingdom. For in this new season, you will need to walk not as one merely receiving protection, but as a mature heir knowing your inheritance and walking in its authority. I am bringing you out of the land of survival and into the land of spiritual flourishing and expansion. My child, you will need to release what no longer fits this new season. There may be old habits, thought patterns, or even relationships that I will ask you to re-examine under the light of new wisdom I am giving. Do not cling to the old out of a false sense of safety. Trust that what I am about to do is better, deeper, and will lead you to a place of greater stability and strength. So prepare your heart. Ask me to wash away every spiritual residue that still lingers from the past battle. Let me cleanse you of any trace of bitterness, disappointment, or weariness that clings to your soul. For I desire to do something new within you, fresh as the first rain of the season, powerful as a new wind blowing through the garden of your spirit. My child, as you enter this season with a heart that is softened, renewed, and released, you will see that what once caused you to falter will no longer hold power over you. The places that once made you tremble will become places where you walk in spiritual freedom and divine authority. Know this, I did not lead you through the storm just to return you to where you were. No, I led you through to bring you somewhere new, a place where your calling will bloom more fully, more deeply, more expansively, a place where my kingdom will be manifest through your life more clearly and powerfully than ever before. Now, my child, are you willing to enter this new season with me? Are you ready to let me open your eyes and teach you to walk in the freshness of my spirit? If your heart says, yes, Lord, I am willing, then I will surely fulfill it, and you will be amazed at what I am about to reveal over your life. My beloved child, as you have willingly stepped into the new season I am unfolding, There is a spiritual discipline you must now cultivate more deeply than ever before, the ability to clearly hear my voice in every step you take. In the past season, I may have guided you through evident signs, through powerful interventions, and through encouraging words from others. But in this new season, I desire to teach you to walk in a deeper spiritual sensitivity, one that no longer relies on outward signs, but flows from an intimate communion between your heart and mine. Beloved, the new season will require you to recognize the gentle whisper of the Holy Spirit amidst the clamor of the world. The enemy knows that if he cannot stop you from entering this new season, he will try to disrupt the spiritual atmosphere around you so that you cannot distinguish my voice from the many external influences. That is why I am calling you to learn to live in the quiet and deep rhythm of my presence. Do you remember what I have spoken? My sheep listen to my voice, I know them, and they follow me. John 10:27. This is not merely a promise, but a vital principle for living in the new season. Only when you can hear and clearly discern my voice will you walk with accuracy and in divine timing. And only by walking in step with my timing can you fully partner with what I am doing upon the earth. In this new season, my voice will come to you in more profound ways, sometimes as a gentle stirring within your spirit, sometimes through an inner sense of peace or an urgent warning, sometimes through a scripture that suddenly comes alive and echoes within you, and sometimes through dreams or spiritual visions given in the stillness. But to recognize these, you must cultivate a lifestyle of spiritual stillness, a space in your soul, unburdened by worry or distraction. What I desire from you is not a frantic striving to hear me, but a deep rest in me. For it is in the rest in an unhurried mind and a settled heart that you will most easily perceive the rhythm of my heartbeat, the breath of my spirit. That is why I invite you to be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. Let me train your spiritual ears. Ask me to expand your sensitivity so that you will not be deceived by counterfeit voices. Learn to test every voice against my word and the leading of the Spirit. In this new season, there will be many voices claiming to be from me, but you are my beloved sheep, and I will train you to follow only the voice of the shepherd. My child, there is one more thing I want you to understand. In this new season, I will lead you step by step, not through a fully detailed plan from the outset. Many of my children desire a complete map before they begin to move. But I say to you, this season is one of walking by faith, each step revealed in obedience, each door opened as you follow. This will forge in you a deeper trust and greater spiritual sensitivity. Do you remember that Abraham obeyed and went, even though he did not know where he was going? Hebrews 11:8. That is the very principle of walking in the new season. As you learn to obey in the small steps, I will open greater doors, and it is in this very process that you will be shaped in humility and steadfast faith. This new season will bring unexpected turns and invitations that stretch beyond your comfort zone. But if your heart has learned to trust my voice, you will not be shaken when change comes. On the contrary, you will find yourself lifted up, swept into the current of the Spirit, and powerfully guided into the very center of my will. Prepare your heart intentionally to listen. Set aside quiet moments each day, not only to present your needs, but to sit with me, to listen, to wait, and to receive fresh vision. It is in these moments that the most precious guidance for the new season will be given. My child, as you walk in that sensitivity, I promise you this: no matter the storm, no matter the trembling of the earth, you will know how to walk your unique path in me, a path lit by the light of my word, led by the sound of my voice, and you will not lose your way amid any wave that rises in the world. My child, I desire to speak to you a matter of great importance. The new season I am leading you into is not merely one of personal renewal, but a season of commissioning and deeper partnership with heaven. Many of my children rejoice when they hear of a new season, imagining it to be only a time of blessing and personal restoration. But what I am about to do goes beyond that. I have not led you through storms, refined you in the secret place, simply so you could hold on to blessings for yourself. No, I have been preparing you for a fresh commissioning, a broader role in heaven's purposes upon the earth. In this season, I will open before you new doors of influence, spiritual connections ordained by me, and opportunities for you to bring the light and life of my kingdom into new territories. But to walk in this commissioning with strength and effectiveness, you must learn to cooperate more intimately with heaven. This cooperation is not just working for mate, is working with me. Through sensitivity to the Holy Spirit and alignment with the rhythm of my heart. In the previous season, you may have grown accustomed to waiting for me to move, then following behind. But in this new season, I want to train you to recognize heaven's cadence and to move proactively in the Spirit. Understand this. Heaven does not operate according to the pace of the world. There will be times I will prompt you to act while others are still hesitating. At times I will call you to remain still while the crowds rush ahead. At times I will place strategies in your heart that do not come from human wisdom, but from the quiet revelation of my Spirit. Therefore, to partner effectively with heaven, you must keep your heart tender, flexible, and always ready. Do not cling to the patterns of what I did in the past season. Let me teach you how to dance to the new rhythm I am releasing. As David once said, God has spoken once. Twice I have heard this, that power belongs to God. Psalm 62:11. You must listen for the layered meanings in what I speak, that you may respond with wisdom in every situation. My child, partnering with heaven also means learning to collaborate with the angels in the spiritual currents I am releasing upon the earth. In this new season, I will increase angelic activity on many spiritual battlegrounds, and you will be called to co-labor with them through prayer, through declaring my word, and through walking in obedience. Do not be surprised if, in the days to come, you sense the presence of angels more clearly, or receive deeper guidance in your times of prayer. This is no coincidence. It is because I am opening a new level of partnership between my children and my angelic host, so that the purposes of heaven may be carried out more swiftly and powerfully in these last days. As you step into your new role in this season of commissioning, keep your heart fixed on building my kingdom, not on building personal reputation. My name must be exalted. My light must shine forth. And you are but a humble earthen vessel carrying my treasure. 2 Corinthians 4-7. And now, I ask you, are you willing to become one who partners closely with heaven in this new season? Are you willing to let me draw you out of your comfort zone and into new spiritual battlefields? New spheres of influence, places where you will see my hand move in ways you have never seen before? If your response is, yes, Lord, I am willing, then I will surely bring it to pass. And you will experience a radiant season of release, not because of your strength, but because I, the one who has called you, am faithful and will surely do it. 1 Thessalonians 5:24. Beloved one, having led you through deep places of preparation, through learning to hear my voice, through partnership with heaven in this new season, I now speak to you a word of eternal weight. Your time has come. Not someday in the vague future, not when you feel more perfected, not when every circumstance aligns. No, my child. No, in this very season, your time has come. I have forged you through past seasons, through hidden days, through long nights of tears, through lonely hours of prayer, and steps of faith misunderstood by others. None of it was meaningless. Every moment has been recorded in my book, Psalm 56-8. And now, that season has fulfilled its purpose. A new season of victory, of stepping into your ordained destiny, is now unfolding before you. My child, there are pages written in heaven about you, pages I wrote before the foundations of the world, Psalm 139-16. These pages are not filled with tragic dead ends, but with a glorious destiny in Christ. And now is the time for you to begin walking into those new chapters where my light through your life will shine more brightly than ever, where my purpose for your life will be revealed more clearly and powerfully than you have known before. To step fully into this, you must hold your heart steadfast in faith. Faith is the essential key in this season. Not faith in your own strength, but faith in the one who has called you and who is faithful to accomplish all he has promised, 1 Thessalonians 5:24. In the coming days, the final trials may rise like the last waves before dawn. The enemy knows that your destiny is drawing near, and so he will attempt to stir confusion, last-minute disturbances, and fear to make you hesitate. But do not be shaken. These waves have no authority to keep your ship from reaching shore. On the contrary, if you keep your heart steadfast, you will find yourself rising above them with a strength you never knew you had. Remember my words, for everyone born of God overcomes the world. This is the victory that has overcome the world, even our faith, 1 John 5-4. Faith will be your unshakable foundation. When you walk by faith, not by emotion, not by circumstance, you activate the power of heaven along your path. I am calling you to rise with the spirit of a victor, no longer merely waiting for the storm to pass, but boldly stepping into the spiritual promised lands I am giving you, no longer living in a defensive posture, but carrying the dominion of Christ into spiritual territories once held by the enemy. I declare to you, you have been anointed for this hour. You have been prepared not to look back, but to move forward in power. I have placed within you words that bring restoration, hands that bring healing, and a presence that will thaw frozen hearts. Do not hesitate. Do not delay. The time to act has come. Hold tightly to my word. Let it become the sword in your hand. Let praise become your spiritual breath. Let faith be the foundation on which you stand. And as you do, you will see doors of vision open wide, streams of grace pour forth, and you will know your appointed time has truly come no as an idea, but as a living reality of heaven manifest on earth. My beloved, when I say your time has come, I do not mean everything will suddenly become easy. No, my child. Those called to walk into a heavenly destiny must do so with courage amidst challenge, must stand firm when other voices try to discourage them. But I say to you, do not look back. Do not let old things, old wounds, or old distractions pull you away from the glorious path I am now unfolding. There have been many moments in the past when you hesitated to rise, feeling not enough, not worthy, not ready. But today, I tell you, in me, you are enough. In me, everything needed for the journey ahead has already been given to you. 2 Peter 1-3. Do not wait for a perfect day. Do not wait for the fear to vanish. For courage is not the absence of fear, it is obedience that rises above it. I know the enemy will try to stir old memories, old fears, whispering into your heart, You can't. But remember, my child, every accusation is a lie. Who can bring any charge against you when Christ himself has declared you righteous? Romans 8:33. Who can stop you when the one who calls you is faithful and infinitely powerful? Do not delay. Delay is a subtle strategy of the enemy to hold back the called ones. Every time you postpone obedience, part of the mission is delayed. But when you step forward with a single act of obedience, heaven's doors open in alignment with your steps. Do not think all things must be clear before you move. It is as you move that my light will illuminate your path. Psalm 119-105. Do not doubt. Doubt is a spiritual sedative. It turns the once bold into the hesitant, the once burning into the lukewarm. But you are not called to live in doubt. You are called to live by faith. And as you walk in faith, the streams of heaven will back every action you take. Remember, this moment marks a monumental turning point in your journey. There are plans I have long prepared, waiting only for your yes to be activated. There are people I desire to align with your life, to walk with you in fulfilling the will of heaven. There are spiritual territories I have ordained for you to touch. But all of it will only unfold when you cross the boundary of hesitation and doubt. Be assured, I have not called you to walk alone. My angels have already been sent ahead of you. My Spirit dwells within you to teach and remind you of all things. John 14:26. And I, myself your keeper, your strength, the one who steadies your steps, am by your side. Hold tightly to my word, for it is the anchor of your soul amid every shaking. So now I ask, are you willing to let go of every old chain? Are you ready to step through the door I am opening before you? Know this, once you cross over, there is no reason to turn back. The old path has passed. The former season is closed. A new season of glory and heavenly destiny awaits you. And I say to you, if you keep your heart steadfast in faith, unmoved by fleeting emotions or circumstances, you will witness astonishing doors open before you. You will see supernatural increase upon the gifts I have placed within you. You will behold my hand moving through your life in ways you've never seen before. My child, engrave this upon your heart. Now is not the time to turn back. Now is not the time to hesitate. Now is not the time to doubt. Now is the time to rise. Now is the time to step into the new chapters of your destiny, to become the very person I designed from the beginning when I formed you. My beloved, when I have declared that your time has come, and when you have heard my voice calling you not to turn back, not to delay, not to doubt, I desire to seal within your heart a higher vision, the long-lasting, victorious life I have prepared for you through intimate union with me. I have not called you merely for a brief season. I have not established you for fleeting moments of fire that fade. No, your destiny is a life of continual victory, a life rooted in the current of the Spirit, a life where you are constantly renewed, lifted, and transformed from glory to glory. 2 Corinthians 3:18. Understand this, the foundation of such a life is not found in outward achievements, but in deep communion with me. If there is one truth I long for you to engrave above all else today, it is this: seek me first, unite with me more intimately than ever before. For it is within this fellowship that your fire will not burn out, your faith will not waver, your vision will not fade. This world will shake, the systems of man will eventually tremble. But my child, if your heart remains anchored in my presence, in my word, then nothing will move you. You will be like a tree planted by streams of water. When drought comes, your leaves will not wither. Jeremiah 17:8. It is from that deep communion with me that you will fully walk out the destiny heaven has assigned to you. That destiny is not a dry mission, but a journey of love, an adventure in my kingdom where you walk alongside me, discovering new depths of my wisdom and glory day by day. I have not called you just to work for me. I have called you to live with me, to walk with me, to delight in my love and power. And out of that communion, kingdom work will flow naturally. This is the life I have destined for you, the life of a mature child in the kingdom, no longer pulled by fear, no longer bound by the mentality of a servant, but walking in the freedom and glory of the sons and daughters of God. Romans 8:21. My child, to walk long and strong in this path, I invite you to surrender your life completely, not just a portion of your time, not just part of what you have, but your whole heart, your entire self-every dream, every plan, every longing. For when you do, the gates of heaven will swing wide over your life, and you will be led into depths of my kingdom you've never known before. Do not fear that full surrender will cause you to lose yourself. On the contrary, it is when you lose yourself for my sake that you will truly find yourself in Krista, self-restored, transformed, and saturated with the glory of heaven. It is then you will no longer live for yourself, but Christ will live in you. Galatians 2:20. Even now, I speak again, your time has come. But how will you enter it? That is your choice. You can turn back in fear. You can hesitate in insecurity. Or you can say, here I am. Lord, I surrender fully. Do whatever you desire through me. And if you choose that path, I promise you this, nothing on this earth, no force in the spiritual realm, no scheme of the enemy will be able to stop what I will do through your life. You will become like a blazing torch in the night, like a trumpet resounding in this generation, like a herald of the kingdom of heaven. My child, a crown of glory awaits you, not a crown given by men, but the crown bestowed by the one who sits upon the throne, reserved for those who have loved him and walked faithfully in him. 2 Timothy 4:8. I await that day, the day you finish the race, the day you stand before me and I declare, well done, good and faithful servant. Enter into the joy of your master. Matthew 25-21. So rise up. Do not look back. Do not hesitate. Do not doubt. Step forward with boldness, with full devotion, with your whole heart. For I, the one who has called you, am faithful, and I will fulfill every word I have spoken over your life. Now I say to you, your time has come. Step forward in strength. Oh, thank you for tuning in to today's message. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so we can continue receiving the living word together, building a firm foundation of faith and walking in the boundless love of the Lord. Amen.